Hello everybody and welcome to the Tourism Ireland webinar. My second. I hope you all had a lovely Canada Day yesterday and the glorious weather we had. Partners from Ireland, live from Ireland. We have Michelle Maguire from Ireland's Blue Book, Tanya Cathcart from the beautiful Fermanagh Lakelands, and we have Karen Henderson from Visit Derry. Today our webinar is really short because from Fermanagh and Derry and Michelle from Ireland's Blue Book is going to give you lots of great info. Quick update, if you haven't heard about our brilliant access from Canada this year. Air Canada Rouge doing year-round, and they started their service all the way through to December. And they started their on April 21st, flying from Toronto to Dublin as well. And obviously with Air Canada Rouge and Aer Lingus, there are fantastic connect feeder cities now all the way to Dublin. Not forgetting our carrier Air Transat, who do direct seasonal access from April to October. They fly out of Toronto to Dublin. They also fly Toronto to Shannon. Already, they have their direct seasonal access from June to October from to Dublin as well. So really, no excuse not to be sending your clients to Ireland. Get asked this question a lot, and it's really that you know this and you can communicate this component to your clients. Ireland days here in Toronto in Ireland, but we do get nice summers, highs of 23 to 25. But the great thing is, in October, November, and December, it drops down to Ireland. They're going to have a really nice experience, and they're not going to be too hot. As I mentioned, this is a Northern Ireland webinar. I'm going to give you just some quick little top picks of Belfast. So visiting Northern Ireland, it's really good to take a wee jaunt up to Dublin. Taste of Belfast. The old Victoria. Fantastic. It's enjoying the music. New attraction in Belfast. It closed now open as a well, and they lead brilliant guided tours through the Belfast jail. That's a super picture of some of the grapes that you can sample. Market, really known for its food as well as its dairy and its meat products for choice, and that of the Crumlin Jail, Belfast. I have to mention Titanic. You can't obviously mention Belfast without mentioning Titanic Visitor Centre, which you can see on the right-hand side of the picture. It's a super experience you can spend a couple of hours at actually, and it's down in the Titanic Quarter, just very close to the dry docks where the ship was built and where she set sail. I'm going to mention the MAC, which is the Metropolitan Centre. It's a brand new art venue. They've got a whole host of programs of events throughout the year, and also permanent exhibitions that you can wander in and look at, and it's free, so a nice little added bonus for visitors to Belfast. Titanic boat tour, obviously not on the real Titanic or anything quite like it, but a really fun tour that you can do around Belfast's historic harbour. Company who do this, and it's almost like a water taxi service as well, so you can hop on, hop off, and experience all that's great within the Titanic Quarter and the harbour there in Belfast. This is a picture of the MAC, and we've got some lovely shots further out of, as we're going to travel through Northern Ireland and head to Fermanagh and Derry. This is a fantastic picture of Dunluce Castle, which is up on the Causeway Coast. Just a reminder to get lots of Ireland essentials, information, brochures, toolkit, how you can contact us and register for our trade newsletter. You can find all over to Michelle, who is the marketing manager at a fantastic selection of historic boutique hotels, and I'm sure Michelle is going to talk a little bit about some of the beautiful properties in Northern Ireland. So Michelle, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Helen. I hope you can hear me. First of all, I'll just introduce Ireland's Blue Book. We are a collection of houses and hotels and castles throughout the island of Ireland. So when you're sending your clients to the island of Ireland, we've got some beautiful, interesting, historic properties all around the island. We are very lucky to have some beautiful property in Northern Ireland, and that's Northern Ireland. And we're able to see on the screen a castle, and it's a classic example of a beautiful blue But all I can tell you is that if you're in this area of Ireland, your clients will have something to do every day. What about touring the wonderful sites each day? You want to come back at night and stay in a beautiful historical property. And with Belle this isn't just about Blue Book. Assured about. Armagh. And Armagh is close to the Moran Mountains. And again, even though it's the other side of North, it's very close to Fermanagh, which you're going to hear about. And this an area in Ireland where your clients go out walking every day and hiking And there's, again, something for them to do every single day. And if they decide to go to this area of Fermanagh, they could stay in a beautiful property like this one. I think your clients would be very happy to come back here. It's a very romantic property, and that's something you can expect from a lot of Blue Book houses. You can expect also wonderful cuisine in Northern Ireland. Throughout Ulster, there's award-winning chefs. So when your clients come to stay in Northern Ireland, they can expect to be eating food, we always say, from farm to fork. So whichever hotel they're staying with, or guest house, or even B&B throughout Northern Ireland, they can expect a very high standard of food, cooked throughout Northern Ireland. This property is actually our Tara, and it's in Derry, Londonderry. Moving on now. On the Causeway Coastal Lane through Northern Ireland. And if you're different for them to see, every few minutes. Helen at the start from there's a bridge called the Carry Rope Bridge, Northern Ireland. Go World Heritage. If they come back to about this village, there's okay. Isn't wonderful. Imagine I have 5, and for your client links courses that you clients to come to the island of Northern Ireland, Lakelands, which you're going to hear a little bit more is it wonderful for tours about the different regions and a blue book. We also work with a number of hotels. You can break tours of Northern Ireland. Some of them aren't hunting for antiques, but you can go just tell you that we're here with our website, WW Ireland's Blue Book. Have a look at the style of the Blue Book properties. I think you'll be impressed. I think your clients will be impressed, and they will certainly remember staying in a beautiful heritage property. So thank you very much, and I'm going to hand over now. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. That was fantastic. I think that really gave them a great taster of what's available within Northern Ireland, and obviously fantastic properties throughout the islands of Ireland. We have a couple of questions for you.
I know that we work with Royal Irish Tours, and they would be able to book any of the Blue Book houses for you. But really most tour operators would have relationships with Blue Book houses. And in fact, some of the Royal Irish Tour series includes several Blue Book country houses in Ireland.
Okay, fantastic. There was a question about commission, but perhaps that's something that they could contact you directly about?
Commission really depends on the tour operator you book through. Like I said, if it's a straightforward itinerary, they're staying just where your clients are staying, maybe perhaps flying into Dublin and making their way up to Northern Ireland, which is a very short distance, by the way. That's something that you should make very clear to your clients, that if they land at Dublin Airport in a few minutes, they're really in Northern Ireland. So if they're staying in multiple areas in Northern Ireland, it might be easier just to go to a tour operator. Celebrate the experiences.
Brochures for the Blue Book. So we actually have a stock of them here in our warehouse in Toronto. So you can always contact me directly.
And if you put that order, just put in your address, we can send it out to you directly as well.
Okay, super. Well, if there's no more questions, I'll let you go, Michelle. So thank you very much for joining us today from Dublin, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. So thank you.
Thank you, Helen.
Okay, up next we have Tanya Cathcart, who is from the Fermanagh Lakelands Tourism region, and we're just going to pop her presentation in there now. And Tanya, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
hello.
Nice and clear and loud.
The Fermanagh Lakelands region of Northern. The people can see there. We want to make sure that you learn more about the lake lands and you continue to learn more about the Fermanagh lands, and that hopefully you'll be able to recommend it to your clients to include it in their itinerary on their visit to Ireland. And me now if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, we do have quite a few questions for you, Tanya. So thank you so much for bringing us through your lovely presentation about Fermanagh. It's a fantastic region. Erica and Joanne have a couple of questions about the Marble Arch Caves, so I'm just going to combine them into one. There was a question about whether you have to sign any waivers before entering the caves and whether they are accessible for seniors.
No, you don't have to send any waivers. There have been people, I think, in the caves aged from about, 8 months to 80. The tour lasts an hour and a quarter. It's most foot, although part of it is in the boat that you saw on the screen. You have to be really fit. Now, I only say that coming out of the caves, there's quite a number of steps at the end of the tour to bring you back up to the to ground level, and then there's a number of then back up to the visitor centre. At that stage of the tour, you're finished the guided tour, so you can take your time. So you just need to be reasonably fit. It obviously would be difficult for anybody that perhaps would years of age have done the tour, and you don't need to sign any particular waiver at all.
Okay, brilliant. There was a question about the attractions being open all year. For example, the trust properties, because you did mention Arch Caves.
The reason they're not open all year round is that it's a living cave. So in the winter time, when there's more rain in Ireland, the caves flood, and also it's the winter time that they do a lot of the work on the ground. Having said that, if anyone is dealing in groups, because obviously side of the main times, which is March until the end of September. But unfortunately for individuals, access outside times wouldn't be possible. But for groups, depending on the weather conditions, yeah, that could very well be possible.
Okay, and Cheryl is, and I don't know the answer to this, so I hope you is Kilronan Castle in County Fermanagh?
No. And I have heard of it. Maybe some of my colleagues are still on the line, but it's definitely is definitely not in Fermanagh.
Okay, and I can't.
So, but I can, to be honest, I can, I have heard of it, and I can certainly check, but it's not in our region.
Okay, no problem at all. And can you just mention your website again?
Yes, the website is fermanahlakelands.com.
Okay, and a great newsletter via that website.
And yes, and anybody that has, that's tuned in today, we able to send them newsletters and to keep them updated on any new product and all the news from the Fermanagh.
Okay, super. Well, thank you so much, Tanya, for joining us
You're welcome.
Today and running through your fantastic presentation. I hope you are going to see more Canadians in the region this year and obviously going forward. Not least, we have Karen Henderson from the beautiful Derry, which is my dad's hometown. So Karen, if you're there, I'll hand it over to you.
Well, good afternoon, Canada. This is Karen Henderson from Derry. Delighted to do our first webinar for Tour of the Canadian Market. This is really a follow-up to our attendance at Bloom, which was held in Toronto recently, where my colleague and one of our hoteliers were on the Tourism Ireland stand. And we were delighted with the interest on Northern Ireland and in particularly Derry. And in fact, after the show about a few weeks ago, we actually had some visitors that called in the Tourist Information Centre who picked up some literature at the Bloom show in Canada and came to visit us. So we were totally delighted with that. So we hopefully we'll get more Canadian visits to the city as a result of attending Bloom. In terms of our location, and Derry is located in the northwest corner of our Helen said in the introduction, many visitors come through Dublin from Canada. They make their way into Belfast along the beautiful Causeway Coast area and into the city of Derry. We are about 3.5 hours drive from Dublin and just about hours drive from Belfast. In fact, we do work with many of the tour operators based in Canada, as like Royal Irish Tours, and Early package many of ours as well. I'm not sure if many of the agents would have been aware, Derry did the most fabulous year in 2013. Last year we were awarded the first UK City of Culture in 2013, which was a fantastic festive with over 170 events taking place in the city. Before we actually led into the fantastic year that we had, we were delighted with the international profile that we got from many publications. And it was the fourth best city to visit in 2013. So therefore we were up there with San Francisco, Amsterdam, Hyderabad, and Montreal was actually number 8. So we're still trying to claim that Derry is a great place to visit, even in 2014 and beyond. This international profile we could not pay for, and this is some of our testimonials. British Airways, there's the top 10 spots airline best destinations. The Sydney Herald, the top 10 cultural events on the planet in 2013. And laterooms.com highlighted Derry as the top destinations for 2013. So the list goes on and on. But really what this culture did for Derry is that it really transformed the image of the city. And you can see the Financial Times with their headline here. We estimated that there was almost £100 million of investment spent in the city, and it really has transformed the whole atmosphere of the city as well. And this is an example of one of the major events that took place today. As I said, we have 170 events, which really how vibrant the city was. And this is one of the many events. If any of you are coming to Ireland in August, I would definitely recommend that your visitors attend the Fleadh Cheoil na hÉireann. It's actually in Sligo this year, but we had it in Derry for the first time last year, and over 10 days period we had 430,000 visitors in the city. So that just shows of how really we can put on a really good and a great festival atmosphere in the city. Last week we had the Clipper round the world yacht race Transcend in Derry. This is a scene of the boat as it arrived in the city last weekend, and we were delighted that in fact Clipper is the largest yacht race in the world. There are 12 boats, and would you believe it that Derry won the race, and they came into and they're now on their way to Amsterdam. We have major events in Derry even in 2014. The legacy for of culture for 2014 is Music City. No doubt, I'm sure many of you agents are aware of the song Danny Boy or the Londonderry Air was actually nearby here. So that is one of our key songs. And actually last year we did competitions for Danny Boy. This is one of our events. If you have any clients coming quite soon to the city, this is the Wall City Tattoo, which will take place on the 27th to 30th of August this year. This is Ebrington Square, and there'll be 500 performers. It was the first year it took place last year, and it will be an annual event, and we're expecting 15,000 people in the city over a 3-day period. So if you have any clients that you've booked to come to travel to Ireland within those dates, please send them to Derry. There's rooms available. It'll be a fantastic showcase and a really great event to see the city for itself. We also have in October, the 31st of October, Europe's largest Halloween carnival, where we have over 30,000 people in the city. And there are people from Canada who like to travel off peak that maybe not want to come to Ireland during the summer. And this is a great family event or for the young and lively to come and see Derry for itself and really get in the spirit of Halloween. But in terms of the destination, we are an all-year round. The city has really transformed, great vibrancy now. But going back to what makes us unique for Canadian visitors is and for any intruders, is that we are Ireland's only completely walled city today. And the walls are one circumference, and we do guided tours of the walls every day, all year round, and they depart from the Tourist Information Centre 4 or 5 times a day, and it is a great way to see the city. In fact, the history of the city is so complex, but it was also the place of emigration. During emigration, many Irish, that's why probably there are many Irish in Canada or Toronto, they left the port of Derry to find a new life in Canada or in America, and this was the main place. Great interest in the history of the city. The city is very compact. It's only of a population of about 108,000. And this is one of our fine buildings, the landmark in the city centre, which is the Guildhall. This is a fantastic building. It's a seat of our local government. And this was actually the whole history where it was, you know, you've heard of the Derry or Londonderry. Just to explain, it was the Guilds of London who built the walls of Derry in 1613. And actually, the name London was prefixed to Derry, and that is where you get the Londonderry. So in terms of the name for your clients, you can either call it Derry or Londonderry, we don't mind. This building has just opened in June of this year with an £8 million refurbishment. It is an ideal place to bring your groups or individuals, and we can arrange mayoral reception for maybe some ad hoc groups in here. It basically has a fine collection of stained glass windows, an exhibition on the plantation of Ulster, and also a tourist information point. Complements the walking tour, which tells you about the history of the city from pre-Christian times up to present. So it looks like early monasticism, the plantation, the siege of Derry, and also the Troubles. And along the walls there are so many fine buildings to visit, such as St. Columb's Cathedral, which was the first cathedral built since the Reformation. However, there is a wider story to tell about Derry, and these are the views that you would have seen possibly back years ago. But this is now what visitors want to come and see. They overlook, they do the tour of the walls, and they want to go down and see where things happened in the 1970s. And this is an area called the Bogside, and we have 13 murals or paintings in this area which illustrates sort of the civil rights movement and also Bloody Sunday in 1972. And even our city sightseeing bus tour and many of the tour operators actually drive through this area as well, which is the wider story of Derry. This is a sample of the attractions. We're delighted now that we've got the new city sightseeing company, which really gives you that European feel for the city, and you can do the open-top bus tours that operates every hour on the hour. And we also have a genealogy centre as well. If you have some groups or some individuals that are looking for something different, we can devise itineraries for your needs. For example, we can devise itineraries if you want storytelling or you want traditional music in the craft village, or also we can arrange a literary tour of the city. Seamus Heaney was taught here in Derry. We also have Brian Frail, who was from the city, and George Farquhar as well. Tanya had mentioned many of the lovely accommodation in Fermanagh as well, and of course Derry is no exception. We have a range of 8 hotels. Our largest hotel would be the 4-star City Hotel in the city centre with 165 bedrooms. And this is one of our hotels, which is a country manor house hotel, which is very popular with Canadian visitors, especially for individuals. It is based in 32 acres of parkland with 30 bedrooms, and it is known as the Beach Hill Country House Hotel and is part of the Country Manor House Group also. But we do have a great range of accommodation, whether you want to stay in the city centre or outside. Our location makes us an ideal base whether you want to visit the Giant's Cove, which is 1 hour's drive. We also have the Ulster American Folk Park, which is 45 minutes. And we can guarantee you and your clients a fantastic cultural city historic experience. Both Tanya and Shelley mentioned about golfing. We're delighted that I think the British Open will be coming to Royal Portrush in 2016. Derry is only 1 hour's drive or less than 1 hour's drive from the Giant's Causeway, so again an ideal base for your golfers. And this is a magnificent picture of the Giant's Causeway, which is on our doorstep, and a great base for your clients to stay in Derry and move out to the Giant's Causeway and also visit the Carrick-a-Reid Rope Bridge and of course sample the Bushmills distillery around the Bushmills area. We're also on the doorstep, Donegal, the beautiful beaches of Donegal, which is part of the Wild Atlantic Way, which again is a new touring route which Tourism Ireland are promoting. That is a quick synopsis of the walled city of Derry. I hope that you will send your clients here to the city. We are delighted with the interest that we've got from Canada. We've always been proactive in this market, and we really hope that you will send your clients to the city. For visits to this wonderful city. Thank you.
Hi Karen, it's Helen again. Thank you so much for giving us such a fantastic overview of Derry. I'm sure some of the agents would be familiar with it. I'm sure some wouldn't. So I think you really was wondering, for those FIT
Great options. There is, the train is the most beautiful journey. It's been highlighted as one of the top 10 journeys. It's only about, you could walk from the train minutes or 30 minutes. He's coming into the Belfast airport to London first and then coming to North.
you know, the great things to see and do very close to Derry, would it be easy to, you know, do like a tour?
Our Tourist Information Centre.
That you know of that kind of do touring within the area?
Bikes.
Yes, motor. Yeah.
Well, we do. Yeah, we have a company called Far and Wild.
Brilliant. And of course, we'll send on all the partners' information and websites. Visit derry.com.
Thank you, Helen, for giving us the opportunity to do this today. I really appreciate it.
No problem at
Bye
all.
from Derry.
Bye.
Bye.
So, thank you very much for joining today on our webinar. We really appreciate your interest in Ireland, and I hope that you're going to have a busy summer and sending lots of clients. We are going to be running another series of webinars in the fall with Baxter, so keep an eye out. Sign up to our newsletter on trade.ireland.com to make sure you do receive those updates and information about our webinars. And thank you very much for your attendance. So have a good day. Bye.